What's up, functional bodybuilders? I want to talk to you today about how we approach loading your weight training in your working sets when you're in persist, you're doing pump, you're doing perform, you're doing pillars. It says there's 3 sets. How should I approach that? Well, the answer to this question really depends on a couple key factors. I think the first is, what is your time allotment that you have for training? If you're in a rush to get through training because you really don't have a lot of extra time outside of your 45 or 60-minute window, versus the person who has a lot of extra time and you really want to put in the extra working sets and you really want to spend the extra 10 minutes on your weight training. Those are the 2 camps that you might fall into. At a bare minimum, what we're aiming for when we prescribe weight training in functional bodybuilding is that for each exercise, you get a minimum of 2 very, very high effort working sets. When I think about effort, I can measure that on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being easy, 10 being the hardest possible thing you could do. And that would look like failure. On the last 2 sets, at least 2 sets when you're working in these training programs, I want you to be hitting somewhere in that 9 range, possibly even going to failure if we're doing a lot of repetitions. But definitely above 8, in that 8 to 9 range is ideal. So let's talk about the example. I'm approaching my back squats for training, and it says there's 3 to 4 sets that I'm supposed to complete. If you're in a rush or you have less time, you could use the first 2 sets of 3 to 4 sets as warm-up, right? You approach the bar, you do your first set. It's not very hard. You're definitely not at an 8 or 9, and that counts as set number 1. So you add a little bit more weight to the next set. The next set, perform it, you're right around an 8. That was set number 2. Now you add a little bit more weight, and you know that that little additional weight jump on the 3rd set is really gonna put you in that effort zone that we're looking for. So then sets number 3 and number 4 get you the stimulus that we're chasing. So in essence, you just did 2 working sets and 2 warm-up sets, and that was your complete back squat session. For somebody who's got a little bit more time, who's looking to push their strength training a little bit further, that's the part that they love. My recommendation would be to not count those 2 warm-up sets. Spend a little extra time before you get into your working sets, find what your warm-up weights are, and then build yourself up and say, okay, this is my first working set, and I want to perform all 4 of my sets at that 8 to 9 plus effort zone. Remember, we're trying to get a minimum of 2 sets at that high effort to really get the stimulus that we're chasing to keep gaining strength, maintain muscle mass, and in some cases grow. If you really want to push your strength further, if you really want to grow muscle mass, you might benefit from going for those 3 to 4 hard working sets at that 8 to 9 plus effort range before you finish your weight training for the day. I hope that helps. If you have a little bit more uncertainty or questions and you want to drop them down in the comments, I'd be happy to answer them there. Good luck.